How many of you mamas are feeling drained and running on empty? One of the most stressful things that you can do to your body and your spirit and your soul is a move. Castor oil has been one of my hacks if you are needing to rejuvenate and rebalance yourself. I started noticing so many improvements in my sleep. I needed to take my own advice on literally supporting my nervous system back to health. Hello, Brave Table fam. Welcome to another episode of The Brave Table. I'm your host, Dr. Neeta, and this is your destination, your oasis to be all things just a little bit more brave in your actions, in your relationships, and in your life. And today I wanted to start with one of my affirmation card decks. I know my dreams are far greater than any lingering fears that I may have. They are part of the process. I am taking risks knowing that I'm holding my fears and cherishing my journey. Well, this is kind of this intention for us today. And I have a question for you. How many of you mamas are feeling drained and running on empty? And if you're juggling at all or feeling exhausted, I have the secret hack that honestly has really supported me going through mom burnout from literally moving countries and uprooting my entire family from the US to Dubai earlier this year. And if you are feeling exhausted and you haven't moved, or just like the day-to-day and you're overwhelmed, I see you. I have the solution to perhaps maybe your mama burnout to help you regulate your stress, to give you the nourishing reset and recharging that you truly deserve. And you guys, it's not another meditation. It's not another journaling hack. This is actually to support your nervous system. So earlier this year, in fact, at the end of last year, I was really on a mission to help support my nervous system. And because we had been traveling so much towards the end of the year, we were literally planning this big move, and we started planning it literally in August, where we had broke the news to our family members. And, Ajit and I had talked about it earlier last year in the beginning of the summer, and we had decided that we were going to make a plan to move. And so a lot of things go into the mindset of a mama with two young kids, with both big businesses and, so many other things to take care of, and homes and people and family members. And there's a lot. And it's so much that our nervous system can go into overdrive. And as a mama, and what tends to happen after we have our children, we stay up later, we are not sleeping as well, especially when we have a life transition. And, the research is out that one of the most stressful things that you can do to your body and your spirit and your soul is a move. And not just a move, a move in and of itself is already stressful because of the packing, the unpacking, and all of that. But imagine moving not just to another city, not just to another state, but abroad, cross countries, across multiple timelines. And I didn't realize how much it would have a toll on my nervous system. But there were a lot of tools that I started doing as of last year. Perhaps maybe subconsciously it was planning, I was planning for this stage of my life, or I had already started taking charge of some of the things to help support my nervous system. So certain herbs like, L-theanine, that would be in my coffee. You guys know how much I have loved using the coffee alternative Loom Superfoods, and it's backed with ashwagandha, which are ayurvedic herbs. And I'm not one to really drink coffee. You guys know I love my chai, but when I need a pick-me-up and when I need an afternoon energizer that is natural, that's clean, that has 9 grams of protein, when I'm actually going to pick up my kids or dropping them off at school, and we need that extra protein boost, Loom Superfoods has literally been my saving grace. And it has been backed by a lot of herbs that really support not only our gut, but our nervous system. And one of the other things that I think has been so underrated, but it comes from 5,000 years of experience, has been my secret hack this year. And last year, literally, that's when it started, of my love of castor oil. And I was doing castor oil packs. And basically what that is you have a a flannel cotton cloth that you have, which is organic cotton, and it's usually flannel. But what it does is you pour a little castor oil on the cotton piece, and basically you put it over your belly, or literally I was doing it to support my liver so that my liver could detoxify. Because if I'm sleeping with this at night, not only does it get you in the most amazing deep sleep, but it helps with your nervous system to feel rejuvenated, recharged, regenerated. And what I was also doing was I was putting that piece of cotton, flannel cotton, with a little bit, I would drizzle a little bit of castor oil, and I would put it over my thyroid. And what that would do is it would support my adrenals. So when you are rushing your go, 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 and this started to happen after I had burnout after my book launch. For those of you who are new to my channel or new to me, I launched my book literally, I think it was 3 years ago now. I started writing it then when my daughter was born, but it actually came out 2 years ago now, and it has won multiple awards. It's called That Sucked Now What? How to Embrace the Joy in Chaos and Find Magic in the Mess. Jay Shetty wrote the foreword to the book. That's actually on the paperback version of the book. So if you guys are in the US, you can actually get that version. It's on Amazon, and it's on thatsuckednowwhat.com. And what I noticed after my book launch tour, I was so depleted. I was so fatigued. I suffered from just a lack and inconsistency of sleep because my daughter was still, I want to say she was 2 or 1.5 at the time. Or she was almost 2 because she's 3.5 now. And it was a challenging time because she was still waking up in the middle of the night. My son was a little bit older, but my kids were tiny, and I was traveling everywhere. And, I was doing podcasts in different time zones, whether it was online or Zoom. And I ended up doing about, I think it was like 250 or 300 podcasts on other people's shows. It was insane. It was intense. It was a ride. I loved it. We did so many workshops. We had books sent out to tens of thousands of people all over the globe. It's helped so many people, but I needed to take my own advice. I needed to take my own advice on literally supporting my nervous system back to health. And, one of those things is to really allow yourself to pause and allow yourself to really reflect and really embrace the years that we've had. And oftentimes we don't do this as mothers because we're constantly in fight or flight. We're constantly in our trauma response of what we are doing to satisfy other people around us, their needs, like our children, our spouse, our family members, our elders, our parents, our aunts, our uncles, our team members, and the list keeps going on and on and on. And I think that for so many of us, we just don't have the tools, or we don't know the tools. Well, when I started using castor oil packs, literally for my liver support, I was doing it, in my lower back. Then I started lathering it up on my, stomach area, my belly button, my navel. I started noticing so many improvements in my sleep. And even if I was only getting 5 to 6 hours of sleep, I still felt rejuvenated. Well, why? Well, because I was also having magnesium tea. And magnesium tea is so underrated because magnesium is one of the highest amount of deficiencies that we actually have is magnesium in our body. And we can actually soak ourselves. One of the ways that we can get it is soaking ourselves in Epsom salt, soaking ourselves in like an Epsom salt bath or an Epsom salt foot bath or a magnesium salt foot bath. But any Epsom salt has a ton of magnesium that we can put on our bodies. If you like to lather yourself in magnesium, there is magnesium lotions and magnesium oils. I don't really like those because I start itching when I place the magnesium oil. And sometimes if you have an open wound, it will sting. So I'm not a fan of those, although some people really swear by it and they love it. I just like to soak in magnesium bath. And also what it does is it helps you detox. So if you are flying a lot, or if you are just go, 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 and there's so many things on your plate, even just allowing yourself to soak in an Epsom salt foot bath really supports your nervous system, and it removes all of the toxins. So even if you are exposed to heavy metals or like bad air quality or mold. I know a lot of people who have been living in the Southern California region because of the fires are asking for tips on how to support their nervous system. That's one of the good ways of doing that. And even one of my other hacks is to help me get really supportive and deep, nourishing sleep is also taking glutathione. And glutathione is a master antioxidant. I can't say enough about that. I love glutathione so much. It's helped me because in this past year, I was also dealing with a lot of fatigue from a lot of the things that I was exposed to just because I was on the road so much. And I got exposed to mold. I got exposed to parasites. And little did I know, and did maybe you don't know this, but a lot of us are exposed to parasites at a given time. And if you travel to any third world countries, like I go to India a lot, I went to the Philippines, I was in Colombia, I was in all different kinds of places. And you can, catch these things, especially in the water, if you are taking baths and showers. A lot of times our gut microbiome is just not used to the types of water that we are exposed to. And then sometimes you'll have parasites, or if you eat certain foods like sushi and things like that, you'll be more prone and exposed to them. So then how do we detox them? And it wasn't just that for me, it was also seeing this in our entire family got exposed to this. So then being able to use something as easy as some of the hacks that I just shared. So magnesium tea, Epsom salt baths, castor oil, which is so underrated, by the way. And it's so great for not only helping you go to the bathroom, because it has helped me even eliminate my parasites. And again, consult your doctor. This is not medical advice. I'm, not a trained physician. I'm a cosmetic dentist by trade. And so you want to ask your healthcare professional if this is something that you should do. But after consulting so many Ayurvedic practitioners and doctors and having so many amazing experts on the show, and we'll link their show episodes in the show notes. I did what's called a Virechana, and a Virechana is a 5-day fast, and it's a 5-day fast with ghee. And what happens in a Virechana basically is we are healing. It's one of the 5 aspects of a panchakarma, which is a 21-day fast and a detox. And so if you go to any Ayurvedic cleanses or Ayurvedic places, and a lot of them are in India and in Kerala, and they will put you on literally a 21-day fast where you are, first you're having ghee. And for me, the Virechana is basically because my dosha was out of balance, I was taking a special formalized ghee that was green and it had all of these herbs in it. And I would take literally 2 to 6 tablespoons of this full ghee that was boiled. And I would take a scoop of it, and literally it was detoxifying my organs. It's the most bitter thing that you can actually try. But I was doing that. And on the 5th day, you take 4 tablespoons of organic cold pressed castor oil. I think it was 4 to 6 tablespoons. Now, again, not my own medical advice. I'm just sharing my lived experience. And literally, I did this on an empty stomach on the final day, day 5. And what happened was I had about 10 to 15 bowel movements. You want to make sure you're fully hydrated, by the way, if you're going to do something like this. And you want to make sure you don't have anything else planned in the day. And what I was doing is, I was told by my Ayurvedic doctor that I was having to just drink warm water and warm teas that were Ayurvedic herbal teas, not like anything that had caffeine in it, to support my digestion, to support my stomach. And literally, apparently, according to Ayurveda, it's supposed to cleanse away your parasites. And it's one of the things that people would do back in the day to help our children from the ages of 5, 6 and under, to help them cleanse their parasites. But castor oil is so underrated because yes, it helps with digestion. Yes, you can ingest it for clearing your, if you have anything stuck in your body, it just literally cleans your system. You definitely don't want to use this if you are pregnant or you think you're pregnant or if you are getting pregnant, because it's one of the things that you can take to actually induce, labor. And so you definitely don't want to do that unless you are ready to have natural birth. And, definitely don't take that advice from myself. I have done that when I was actually, with my birth team with Ari, and it definitely makes you clean and go to the bathroom to make sure your intestines are clean so that you can actually give birth naturally, and it prepares you for childbirth. Now, let me just give you the background of, castor oil. It's made from seeds of the castor plant, Ricinus communis. And here's the general process, because not all castor oils are the same. There's a reason why organic cold pressed castor oil is the thing to look for when you are looking for a reputable brand of castor oil. And I know that recently my viral video that went viral, it has, I think, over 4 million views now. It has gone viral because of this one video that I'll share a clip with you, but teaching people how to use feminine navel oil in your navel oil and what it actually can do to support your hormones, your nervous system, especially if you're postpartum, if you are dealing with the stresses and the chaos of, all kinds of day-to-day things as a mama or as an entrepreneur. But what they do is they harvest seeds, and the seeds of a castor oil plant are collected after the plant actually matures. And these seeds are rich in these fatty oils, which are really good, and it has a high absorption rate, typically containing 40 to 60% of the oil by weight. And what happens in the seed preparation, the seeds that are harvested, they're basically cleaned to remove the debris and the impurities. And the people that are harvesting the seeds, they basically, because parts of the plant can be toxic to humans, so there's a special preparation for harvesting the seeds. And so the outer shells of the seeds are sometimes removed to increase the efficiency of the oil extraction. And then in the oil extraction, there are two primary methods to get the specific castor oil. So there's cold press, and this is the one that literally, everyone talks about, is the cold pressing. The seeds are mechanically pressed without applying external heat, and the process retains most of the nutrients in the oil and results in a high quality, unrefined castor oil. Now there's solvent extraction, which people generally don't, do this part. I think it's a cheaper way to make the oil. In an industrial production, the seeds are treated with solvents like hexane, but that's actually not good for our body. So you want to make sure you only get organic cold pressed oil. Now, during the filtration and refinement, the extracted oil is filtered to remove the impurities. And for refined castor oil, the processing such as neutralization, they also bleach it, and deodorization may occur because sometimes it has a foul stench. So these steps make the oil lighter and less pungent. So again, when you're looking for organic, like there is the Queen of Thrones brand that I really love. And I also love Aste Wellness's brand, which is the Nabi Nectar oil that I used in that very viral video that we created. You want to make sure that you're using something like either a patch to cover your belly button. Otherwise, you will have a lot of stains on your clothing. I use a flannel cotton because it's organic and it's easier on the skin, and the heat from the organic cotton actually stays on your skin. So there are some people who love to use like Band-Aids basically, or cotton that has like a Band-Aid on it so that it sticks to your skin. I don't really like it because it really sticks to your skin. And castor oil is a very, very heavy oil. So you want to make sure that if you're using that, you want to make sure you're, if you're sleeping in your luxurious pajamas, you don't want to get those stains. So cover it up. They have these castor oil packs that are flannel packs. I don't really wash them, so I use them for, a number of uses, because castor oil, the benefits are basically that it's anti-inflammatory. Some people swear it helps them with like bloating, the inflammation in our bodies if we've eaten too many carbs and things like that. I've seen people use it to, if they're like trying to, slim down. Again, this is not medical advice, but because it reduces the amount of inflammation, and we have so much inflammation on a day-to-day basis. And honestly, it helps reset and recharge our nervous system. And that is the biggest part of this. So you always want to look for organic or equivalent certifications because it ensures the oil was made without any synthetic pesticides, herbicides, or GMOs. And you want to make sure that it's hexane free. You definitely do not want to be putting hexane on your body. And you always want to make sure that it is in glass bottle packaging, like a dark glass bottle. What happens is it protects the oil from sunlight and it prevents chemicals from leaching, like plastics and things like that, into the castor oil itself. And you want to make sure that if you're looking for something on Amazon that it has a ton of reviews, right? Because you just never know with some of the brands out there. I would say invest in yourself, get the Queen of Thrones, get anything that has organic castor oil pressed. Now, the reason why I love Aste Wellness is because it is also supporting you with other herbs, like Ayurvedic herbs, like Shatavari and Ashwagandha, that helps also with our nervous system, and it helps with balancing our hormones. I didn't realize, but last year I also had to take some supplements and some herbs, Ayurvedic herbs, to balance my hormones, because after my burnout and after having my child number 2, my hormones were also out of whack. And this is so important because as we enter the age range of premenopause, we don't realize it, but if we are constantly go, and we are not supporting our cortisol-driven lives, the cortisol is going to make us retain weight. It's going to make us retain liquid in our face, retain puffiness in our face, even cause more breakouts, even cause you to be more sensitive with the foods that you eat. And I remember last year when things were out of balance, I would get these rashes on my fingers, my hands, and I just needed to support my detox pathways. So all this to say, castor oil has been one of my hacks and something that I think you should definitely try if you are needing to rejuvenate and rebalance yourself. And guess what? You can also use it in your hair. It's really good for hair growth. It's non-comedogenic. So I know for a lot of people, they say that it's not really great on the face. I've used it on my face and I think it's great. Some people tend to break out too. So you want to see if you're using it, you want to have like a carrier oil, like a jojoba, or something else like coconut oil that's a little bit lighter that you can mix it with. But the benefits are just tremendous. So you can actually ingest it if you wanted to go on a full, detox. I wouldn't do it without looking it up yourself. And if you wanted me to do another video on that, definitely message me in the comments below and let me know you wanted to know part 2 on how to actually go into the detoxification of this. And I can share with you more about my Virachana experience. And for all of us mamas, it's just a reminder that, when I pull up my card again for your action step for this week, revisit a favorite inspirational quote, a talk, or a podcast from somebody you admire every day this week. So if you have to listen to this again, go ahead, but reflect on what it brings up for you. And this is kind of, your action step that I have from my 52 card deck of That Suck Now What, and I'll put it in the show notes. But I think so often we tend to forget how powerful we are when we actually allow ourselves to take a break, rejuvenate, and rest. So allow yourself those bubble baths, allow yourself that savoring cup of tea, get your castor oil on. Let me know what your favorite brands are in the comments below. And if you are watching this on iTunes or Spotify, go ahead and give me a thumbs up so we know that you are listening, that this means value for you and this is valuable for you. And if you are watching this on YouTube, please hit the subscribe button so you don't miss a beat with all the other episodes that we are dropping for you. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you next time.